Whoops, there we go. Hey, good morning, risers. How is everybody today on a Monday? Woot. Day 9 of quarantine. For the love of God. Good to have you with us today. A little bit rainy. All right, good, awesome. Good morning, everybody. Hope that you are well today. Everybody have a great Monday. All right, we've got a ton of stuff to do today. Monday mornings are always just jam-packed, crazy amounts of stuff. So let's just get it going, right? This is Nick Stewart. I'm Nick Stewart. At least what it says on the inside of my underwear. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. Welcome to the program. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you, Milton Post, for hosting. Where's my base? What does that mean? Where's my base? I don't know what that means. You mean that? Is that what you're talking about? My background? Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, praying for Angie. Thanks, Corey. Your forecast today becoming I'm going to turn this down a little bit. This I know. All right, your forecast for today. Becoming partly cloudy after some morning rain, which we're having right now. High near 73. Chance of rain 100% today. Tonight, clear skies, low near 39, which means the shelters are open. And tomorrow, mostly sunny, mainly sunny, high near 70. Presently, it's 59 in Milton. It's 60 Gulf Breeze, 59 Navarre, and 60 in Pensacola High. All right, ribbon message. Oh! Yeah, it's not there, is it? I sound tenor. Is my sound off? Is my sound not bueno? Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. I know it wasn't me. 850-771-0049 is the number to call. Get your thoughts heard. We're going to discuss a couple things today. Your
sound is a little like you're in a hole.
Oh, am I in a hole? All right. So let's see. I don't know if I can fix that or not. We shall try. Don't want to sound like I'm in a hole. That should be right. Test 1 2, test 1 2. I hope that fixes it. I don't know. You never know. Sound is fine. Thank you, Kim. God bless you in your ministry. All right. Let's get on with it. A Pensacola man was killed and another is seriously injured following a crash in Milton early Sunday morning. A pickup truck was traveling south on State Road 89 near Pond Creek Road around 7:17 a.m. when it veered off the roadway onto the right shoulder and into a ditch. The truck then collided with a culvert on the north side of the driveway and became airborne. The truck started overturning as it was airborne, ejecting the driver and the passenger. Wear your seat belts. Troopers say the truck came to a final rest facing northwest on the driver's side of the vehicle. The driver, 23-year-old Pensacola man, and the passenger, a 22-year-old Pensacola man, were airlifted to Sacred Heart in Pensacola. The 23-year-old was later pronounced dead. Wear your seatbelts. Wear your seatbelts. 22 and 23. All right, the county budget is to be discussed tomorrow. Santa Rosa County will host a 9 a.m. workshop on Tuesday, February 23rd, to discuss the fiscal year budget, which starts October 1st. Strategic planning facilitated by Matrix will also be discussed. The workshop will take place at the County Administrative Complex. You can also watch that online. We talked last week about the semi-permanent mass vaccination site there in Santa Rosa, where they're taking over the old Bell's department store in Milton. Now, they're putting up $44,500 minus $1.02. But now they're saying that they're going to be reimbursed for it from the Biden administration. Now they say they need that space for social distance. That's a big space. You don't need 40 feet between individuals. I'm just saying. And I don't know. They're supposed to receive reimbursement, so we'll see. Illegal trash dumping has become a major issue across Santa Rosa County, and code enforcement officers say they are overwhelmed. Undeveloped roads across Santa Rosa County become the prime target for illegal dumping. Code enforcement is seeing anything from mattresses to toilets and even animal remains. Now they probably wouldn't be overwhelmed if they'd leave people with mulch piles alone. Number one. Is animal dumping really an issue? It biodegrades. Birds eat it. I don't know. If you're caught dumping trash in these areas, you won't receive a warning. Dun dun dun. I don't like people dumping trash. I don't. Not a big fan of the code enforcement stuff. Just over the top. When the sheriff's office gets involved, there's no opportunity to clean it up, Phillips said. There's an opportunity to appear before a judge and explain to him why that you felt it was appropriate to dump your discarded materials on the county right-of-way instead of disposing of it like good citizens. While code enforcement has partnered with different agencies to crack down on dumping, officials say it's not enough. What we really need is the citizens, if they see something, to snap a picture or at least report it to our code enforcement division, Dave Peach says. If you see your neighbor piling up mulch, call code enforcement. Ridiculous. A paceman is accused of harboring. Where is he? This guy looks like a true winner, does he not? He looks like he's got his poop in a group, so to speak. There he is. This paceman is accused of harboring an underage girl from Arkansas in a Santa Rosa County home and inappropriately touching her. Jerry Lynn O'Neill, 31, was arrested Thursday and charged with interfering with the custody of a minor and lewd or lascivious battery on a victim between the ages of 12 and 18. He was booked into the Santa Rosa County Jail without a chance for bond. Deputies drove to O'Neill's residence after an alert from the sheriff in her town to investigate. Found him standing in the front yard when they arrived. They informed O'Neill they were provided information about juvenile possibly illegally living with him. He began to break eye contact and stutter as he spoke, as if he's having to think about what to say next. Deputies told Jerry if he lied to them, he could potentially be charged for interfering in an investigation. The report noted that before O'Neill admitted to the girl being inside his home, he hung his head, took a deep breath, and then led deputies as they followed him inside and found the girl. You misspelled wiener, Jason. Now, he's been known as a neighborhood creepy since he looks like it. Wow. Get rid of him. We will, I don't know. These guys like this, no internet. They get no internet. Good morning. You're on Sunrise Santa Rosa. Hello. Good morning. You're on Sunrise Santa Rosa. Okay, they're not there. All right. You know him. He grew up with my older son. Ooh, creepy folks tend to grow up from creepy. Yeah, it tends to continue on. All right. A woman is in custody for causing a car to crash into Bob Tyler Toyota in Pensacola Thursday night. Let me put her picture up here. This is interesting. This is an interesting story. Oh, here she is. Deonshay Green, 22, is charged with battery. She's in Escambia County Jail on a $1,000 bond. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, Green was a passenger in a car being driven by a 28-year-old woman. FHP says, while in the McDonald's drive-thru on Pisco Boulevard, right across the street from Bob Tyler, the two women started fighting, and Green began choking the driver, causing the driver to hit the accelerator. According to FHP, the vehicle then sped into the Bob Tyler parking lot, hit a parked vehicle for sale, and continued through the front of the building. The building came to rest fully inside the building and partially inside an office. Give me my McNuggets. Give me my McNuggets. Gotta have the McNuggets. Oh, people. Interesting. All right. The $40 million school is Santa Rosa County School District's first kindergarten through 8th grade facility. It's on track to open in the fall of the 2021-2022 school year. Why? The district is in its public comment period for proposed boundaries and will hold a final public hearing March 9th. When the school zoning gets approved, really as soon as possible, I'll communicate with our families on things like registration. A big thing is kindergarten registration, what that's going to look like. And the electives and some of the school choices that can be offered at East Bay. I know parents are very curious as to what the new school is going to offer for our families. Are you going to offer in-person classes? That's the question. Why are we are down students, what, almost 3,000? Yes? That rings a bell. Why do you need a new school? You needed school because they were overcrowded. They're not overcrowded now. Why don't you worry about getting enrollment up before you ram these new schools, these multi-million-dollar schools down our throats? The school board meeting got a little ugly the other night. We'll have some video on that hopefully tomorrow. Okay. Now we know about the Milton City Council. We know how interesting the meetings get. So, despite the increasingly heated Milton City Council meetings, I've seen some council members storm out of meetings. Well, it's not some, it's usually just one. Now, in this, the council declined Thursday night to adopt a code of decorum and civility proposed by the mayor that sought to make meetings more peaceful and less contentious. The guiding principles for meetings with the City of Milton document was created by Milton Mayor Heather Lindsay, the Hammer, and put forth for council consideration at Thursday night's council meeting. The mayor hoped to get the council members to agree to adopt the document as a way to express commonly shared values by the city's public servants. The principles included things like respect for open government, politeness, and civility during the decision-making process, and accountability to conduct city business with decency. Elected officials could show how to solve problems productively by disagreeing without being disagreeable. Yes. We can act in wisdom by striving to express ourselves based on principles instead of personalities. Yes. And maintaining decorum means that we treat each other as we'd like to be treated. Yes. Lindsay said, reading from the prepared document. By remaining calm, we can make decisions with wisdom rather than emotion. And in these ways, we can model civility. Now, I agree with the sentiment. And Shannon Rice and Jeff Snow did not agree to it. But the way they put it forth in the newspaper article was that they're against civility. And that's not the case at all. It's not the case at all. What their opposition is it won't be widely enforced. Sharon Hawley. Mayor, if you want this to be a real thing, then you make it a real thing. And you abide by that. And you make Sharon Holly abide by that when she actually shows up for a meeting. If someone needs a keeper, it's Sharon Holly. That's where you start. She's yours. You control her. I know it's all about emotion. Yeah, we don't the whole the thing where you kind of go through and chastise everybody. Stop it. If you want this, the bite me comment from Sharon Holly. Why did you, Mayor? Why did you put that out there when Sharon Holly was not in the meeting? Why did you put this civility thing out there when Sharon Holly wasn't at the meeting? You do it first, and you make it across the board, and you let those city council members that you don't get along with, let them know that this is going to be, I'm not going to point it at you. This is going to be everybody. We're going to sing Kumbaya at the beginning of every meeting. And I have been a big offender, and I apologize, and we're going to put all this stuff aside so we can handle the people's business. What are the odds of that happening? Talking stick. The conch from Lord of the Flies. If you don't have it, you can't speak. But it's not going to. But can you imagine Sharon Holly giving up the stick? And if she didn't have the stick, her head would explode. If you want this, then it is everybody. Everybody. And if you can't do it, I don't know what the punishment would be. Censure? You can't speak. But look, I know where this was aimed. The people that it was aimed at know where it was aimed. And that tells me that it's not legitimate. Your call for civility, when it is aimed at people, particular people, specific people, means it's not legitimate. And that's the problem. What is this? Okay, cool. I don't think she has it in her to be a good leader. Well, I think it all depends on what your purpose is. What is your purpose? May the task be great or small, do it right or not. Did you write Dr. Seuss books? But that's the truth. It is the truth. But let's get it. Let's do it the right way. Nobody is against civility. Nobody. Maybe Sharon Holly, we don't know. She is very civil when she's not there. Matlock Marathon. But grasp hold of the fact that when you aim things at particular people, it is automatically illegitimate. Hey, Shari. So yeah, don't point your civility thing, point it at yourself. Why not make a declaration? Here, I've got the answer. You ready? Next meeting, Mayor Lindsay, the gavel, the hammer. Next meeting, you say, I am pledging that I am going to be civil. and go through the whole thing on your list and say, I am pledging to be civil. And then do it. Show the others about your civility code and encourage and lead others in that direction. Who would have decisive authority over determining who's not following the city code? Well, that's exactly what the question is. Because it's well, I'm always civil. You're just not civil. And that's where the problem lies. 850-771-0049. Yes, that's an issue. Code of ethics covers all this, just nobody follows them. Yeah. And yeah, it is bad. You should also need to be fair. Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It'd be pointed at just a couple people. Sharon Holly would not be held to that standard because you agree with me, and so therefore you are civil. Look, we can be disagreeable. I am absolutely on the side of we can be civil and disagree. Absolutely. Ask anybody. But why is it that the other side never wants to be civil? Case in point. I'm not going to name names. But somebody in this discussion doesn't think that because, or thinks that because I don't agree with them, we can't be friends. They said, I hope that we can talk again as friends. I'm like, what stopped that? Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I'm not your friend. I get people that unfriend me on Facebook. Why? Because they don't agree with me. Lawyer Trick. Her declaration was the same as, do you still beat your wife? Her declaration, yeah. So, but we can be friends and not have the same. I'm fine with that. I had a friend in Texas, worked with him at the newspaper. And he had long hair. He was Nick. His name was Nick. And I called him the anti-Nick. But he had long hair. He was a Buddhist. He was a flaming liberal. And we would laugh and talk and had great conversations. Did we agree? No, hardly anything. But we could just agree to disagree. Thanks, Heather. I count you as my friend. Appreciate that. All right. 850-771-0049. I just think that this mindset of you've got to sign this declaration to be civil is ridiculous. Let's just make an announcement at the beginning of a meeting. Look, I am going to watch myself. Put it on yourself. I'm going to watch myself and to make sure we're civil. I'm trying to cut emotion out of this thing so we can have a good meeting. And I want to get along with everybody. We don't have to agree. That's okay. Let's just keep it really tight. And I'm going to work on myself and ask that everybody do the same thing. And leave it there. Leave it there. This letter writing campaign thing that we go through. Oh. And then when it's rejected, you go to the newspaper. I don't know. Just saying. Probably not a good thought. You can always have a civil discussion, not like each other. Yeah. Yep. That's I don't know. How do you change this atmosphere in the city council? How do you change that? Unless we have people go to the meetings and stand up and say, we expect you to act like community leaders. You can disagree. That's fine. We don't expect someone to pick up their big grandma bag and march out, storming out angry. We don't expect people to get a lecture. Do the job. I know. The difficulty in anybody being a good leader is usually themselves. If you can't be civil, go home. Well, I don't know. Stop calling the local news. Stop calling that. If they want to come cover it, they can come cover it. Change the people participating in the meeting. Set an example. Polls next elections. Wow, it's a long time between that. It's a long time between now and the election. But let me say this. Is you hold the key. Right? Citizens hold the key. And if you start a letter writing campaign, you send the city council a letter, putting them on notice, starting with the mayor. We're done. We are putting you on a code of ethics. And then each one, I don't care if you are for that city council member or against it, you send one to everybody. This is what we the citizens expect more, not less, more. Team building exercises. Put them in a, can you imagine Sharon Holly in a escape room? Time is a tough part. Time to take a poll. What kind of poll, Donna? What kind of poll do you want? Our meetings, the way she runs them makes our city look disgusting. Surprisingly, meetings haven't gone viral. I know. But Sherry's going to be running against Sharon Holly. Good. She can watch Matlock till her as a parting gift. We'll give her the complete collection of Matlock on DVD. Need to request a letter be read at the next city council. Also send to manager and city clerk. All right. Someone want to help get that thing roused up? Wake up and get involved. Yep. Recall Florida. All right, 850-771-0049. But by gosh, this stuff's gone on long enough. It's gone on long enough. I don't care how savvy that letter was. Oh, and then they rejected the letter. I called for civility and they rejected it. Well, they rejected it on the premise that you're not going to enforce it equally or to thyself. Something about the 8 p.m. The mayor always worsens after 8 p.m. Go maybe turn into a pumpkin. I don't know. 850-771-0049. Maybe afraid that gavel will wear out. Levin Papatonio is part of a team that is suing Pornhub. They filed a federal class action lawsuit against Pornhub's parent company, MindGeek. It alleges the smut purveyor hosted multiple rape videos of teen sex trafficking victims and profited from them while doing nothing to verify the ages or consent of those depicted. The victims were 14 and 16 years old at the time. The lawsuit does not aim to break the internet. It aims to fix it, eliminating MindGeek's haven and marketplace for child rapists and pedophiles. The victims are being represented by the National Center on Sexual Exploitation. So, good. Get rid of Pornhub. What else? I skipped one here. Where'd I go? Kevin Hone, 65, former Brooksville mayor, has been arrested and charged for possessing and distributing images showing children being sexually abused. That's according to the U.S. State Department. Investigators say in September and December, they learned that an internet protocol address distributed child pornography images and videos. Investigators traced the IP address to Hone's residence. On Friday, investigators executed a search warrant at Hone's home. They found Hone sitting in his office, his home office, at a computer that was connected to an external hard drive. They found more than 100 images of minors engaging in sexually explicit acts on that hard drive. With these images, they discovered images of apparent child pornography that had been recorded inside of his home. You can say bye-bye to former Brooksville mayor. Mercy. I don't get people. Maybe the mayor needs a Snickers bar. Maybe, possibly. 850-771-0049. Microsoft co-founder and philanthropist Bill Gates warned there will be dire consequences if the world does not achieve zero net carbon emissions by the year 2050. So here's Bill Gates. I'm going to put his picture up in case you don't know who he is. Here he is. Bill Gates. Is he a scientist? No. Did he graduate college? No. And yet, he says in his new book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, Gates says it's imperative that the world go from the current 51 billion tons of emissions to zero within the next 30 years to avoid catastrophe. Because he's an expert on climate change. Because of what? Because he created Microsoft? The migration we saw out of Syria for their civil war, which was somewhat weather dependent, we're going to have 10 times as much migration because the equatorial areas will become unlivable. He told that to Fox News Sunday host Chris Wallace, warning what will happen if the goal is not reached. Now I know we don't like Chris Wallace, but why would Chris Wallace talk to him about global warming when he has no experience in global warming? Bill Gates has zero. He has no scientific climate change, anything, and yet he's got a forum with Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday. Somebody tell me. He says, what will happen if the goal is not reached? We won't be able to farm or go outside during the summer. Wildfires, even the farming productivity in the south of the U.S., the droughts will reduce productivity in the area dramatically. He went on to say that the loss of life would be greater than even the worst part of the coronavirus pandemic. Based on what? Based on what? He wants to dim the sun. He does want to dim the sun. He's a moron. Okay, Jeff. That's pretty harsh. But okay. I know. He's got the John Kerry experience for climate change. They just pulled out of their backside. Gates wants to do away with eating meat. Yep. He does. Idiot. He is a billionaire idiot. I don't know why they buy property by the ocean. I think they talk up climate change so the price drops, so they can buy it cheap. Biggest farmland owners in the Midwest. Yep. He also wants to. Yep. He loves burgers. I don't know. I like bacon, John Bacon. 850-771-0049. Humans are making Earth a broken and increasingly unlivable planet through climate change. Biodiversity, loss, and pollution. So the world must make dramatic changes to society, economics, and daily life. It's according to a United Nations report. They must make dramatic changes to society, economics, and daily life. Unlike past UN reports that focused on one issue and avoided telling leaders actions to take, Thursday's report combines three intertwined environment crises and tells the world what's got to change. It calls for changing what governments tax, how nations value economic output, how power is generated, the way people get around your vehicles, fish and farm, as well as what they eat. Without nature's help, we will not thrive or even survive. That's Secretary General Antonio Guterres said. For too long, we've been waging a senseless and suicidal war on nature. The result is three interlinked environmental crises. That's according to a 168-page report. The title, Making Peace with Nature. This year is a make it or break it year. Indeed, because the risk of things becoming irreversible is gaining ground every year. We are close to the point of no return. The report highlighted what report co-author Rachel Warren of the University of East Anglia called a litany of frightening statistics that hasn't really been brought together. Earth is on its way to an additional 3.5 degrees warming from now, far more than the international agreed-upon goals in the Paris Accord. 3.5 degrees. Really? About 9 million people a year die from pollution. About 1 million of Earth's 8 million species of plants and animals are threatened with extinction. Up to 400 million tons of heavy metals, toxic sludge, and other industrial waste are dumped into the world's waters every year. More than 3 billion people are affected by land degradation, and only 15% of Earth's wetlands remain intact. Who tells them this? Where do they get these numbers? About 60% of fish stocks are fished at the maximum levels. There are more than 400 oxygen-depleted dead zones, and marine plastic pollution has increased tenfold since 1980. In the end, it will hit us, said biologist Thomas Lovejoy, who is a scientific advisor to the report. It's not what's happening to elephants. It's not what's happening to climate or sea level rise. It's all going to impact us. So there you go. Good morning. You're on Sunrise Santa Rosa. Okay. So there you go. We are at a make or break point for climate change. Talk about adding insult to injury. After a deadly winter storm left millions in Texas without power this week, along with shortages of food and clean water, some Texans are now seeing exorbitant electricity bills. The tab runs as high as $17,000. That's how much Ty Williams, a resident of Arlington, told Fox Dallas-Fort Worth his family was being asked to pay $17,000 for the power during the cold. $17,000. Here's what happens. He gets his power from a wholesaler, Griddy, Griddy. They're a wholesale electric provider in the state. Now, the wholesale prices skyrocketed. As much as $9 per kilowatt hour. At least till the grid could manage to demand caused by the winter storm. That's 300 times higher than the normal wholesale price. Excuse me. Even though 99% of homes had electricity by Thursday evening, they left the pricing in place. 300 times higher than the normal wholesale price, which left him with a bill of $17,000. Yeah. Yep. Sorry. How do people pay that? You can't even put that on a payment plan. That's a car. This week's killer freeze in the U.S. was no surprise. Government and private meteorologists saw it coming, some nearly 3 weeks in advance. They started sounding warnings 2 weeks ahead of time. They talked to officials. They issued blunt warnings through social media. And yet catastrophe happened. At least 20 people have died and 4 million homes at some point lost power, heat, or water. Experts say meteorologists had both types of sciences down right, the math-oriented atmospheric physics for the forecast and the squishy social sciences on how to get the message across. This became a disaster because of human and infrastructure frailty, a lack of planning for the worst case scenario. Now, it is now you see the left. Excuse me. You see the left getting all twisted around the axle about the climate change, and because Texas hasn't been following climate change and going on the grid like they should, that's why they're having the problem. It's climate change. Well, climate change is to blame, but it's because they've been going to this green new energy, which you can't renew it if it doesn't work. And that's the issue. Chuck Schumer discouraged and mocked Texas on Sunday as the Lone Star State battles the crisis triggered by record-breaking weather last week. The New York Democrat said he hopes Texas learned a lesson. I hope you learned your lesson, attributing the significant energy issues to officials who ignored climate change. The bottom line is Texas thought it could go alone and build a system that ignored climate change, Schumer said. So what failed? Well, you're flipping windmills and your solar panels. I hope they learned a lesson. Now, get this. A new study finds there could be unintended consequences of constructing massive solar farms in deserts around the world. The eye-opening research claims that huge solar farms, such as in the Sahara, could usher in an environmental crisis, including altering the climate and causing global warming. The study was carried out by a researcher in physical geography at the Land University and Benjamin Smith, the director of research at Hawkesbury Institute for the Environment at Western Sydney University. Solar panels are darker colors, such as black and blue, to attract and absorb more heat, but they are usually much darker than the ground around the solar panel. The Post cites an article that claims most solar panels are between 15 and 20% efficient. 15 to 20%. In converting sunlight into usable energy. The researcher asserts that the rest of the sunlight is returned to the surrounding environment as heat, affecting the climate. So, wow. There you go. It is not a beneficial thing. What else? A Michigan woman contracted COVID-19 and died last fall after she got a double lung transplant from a donor who turned out to have the virus. The incident may be the first proven case in the U.S. which the coronavirus was transmitted through an organ transplant. We'd absolutely not have used the lungs if we'd had a positive COVID test, said Dr. Daniel Cole. All the screening that we normally do and are able to do, we did. The donor was a woman from the upper Midwest who died after suffering from a severe brain injury in a car accident. But she had COVID. Oh, get this. I want to bring this up. This is kind of interesting. This was at a soccer match. A soccer match? Tennis match. I don't know. Some kind of foreign thing. Australia Open. The fans were criticized after they appeared to boo the mention of the coronavirus vaccine rollout during the men's final trophy presentation. Watch this.
Time of heartfelt challenge. It's been a time of deep loss and extraordinary sacrifice for everyone. And with vaccinations on the way, rolling out in many countries around the world, it's now a time for optimism and hope for the future.
Boo! They're booing it! Wow. She was talking about the vaccine rollout, and the crowd booed it. Do you think that these people want the vaccine? I think not. I think they do not. Yeah, pretty interesting. 850-771-0049. What else is going on? Fox News received more bad news on Sunday after a poll found that a large percentage of Trump supporters no longer embrace the cable news behemoth as their most trusted source of news. A new USA Today Suffolk poll discovered that only 34% of Trump voters named Fox News as their most trusted source of news. It's a massive 24% drop from the poll in October, when 58% of former President Donald Trump supporters declared Fox News as their most trusted news source. Trump voters are jumping the Fox News ship and embracing relative newcomers, Newsmax and One American News Network. The poll of 1,000 Trump voters taken by phone between February 15th and 19th found that 17 of Trump's voters see Newsmax as their most trusted source of news, and 9% trust OAN. Interesting. Disney released 5 seasons of The Muppet Show. Yay! Watched the episode yesterday on its Disney Plus streaming service on Friday. Viewers quickly noticed that there's an offensive content disclaimer before the beloved sitcom, featuring celebrated puppets such as Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and Gonzo. This program includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures, the disclaimer states. These stereotypes were wrong and are wrong now. Rather than remove the content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. Disney is committed to creating stories with inspirational and aspirational themes that reflect the rich diversity of the human experience around the globe. The Muppet Show can only be seen on an adult account on Disney's $6.99 month streaming service. Jim Henson must be pissed. He was quite the flaming liberal. He was a flaming liberal. Yeah. And I love the Muppets. I love them. It's corny and cheesy, and I love it. And I watched them yesterday. Kate says Newsmax sold out. How did Newsmax sell out? Just curious. Just wondering. What else? This is Fauci. Got to get Fauci in today. Yet says another stupid thing. Why this guy goes on TV, I will never know. But he does it because he likes TV. He likes to be there. So here's Fauci. He lost it. Here's Fauci on CNN's State of the Union on Sunday. And this is what he says about masks and how long.
You and the president have suggested that we'll approach normality toward the end of the year. What does normal mean? Do you think Americans will still be wearing masks, for example, in 2022?
You know, I think it is possible that that's the case. And
2022. What happened to April of 2021? We continue.
It really depends on what you mean by normality. If
right,
normality
that's what I want you to
is
define
exactly the way it... No, Dana, it's important because if normality means exactly the way things were before we had this happen to us, I mean, I can't predict that. I mean, obviously, I think we're going to have a significant degree of normality beyond what the terrible burden that all of us have been through over the last year. That as we get into the fall and the winter by the end of the year, I agree with the president completely that we will be approaching a degree of normality. It may or may not be precisely the way it was in November of 2019, but it'll be much, much better than what we're doing right now.
Why do you think Americans might have to wear masks into 2022?
You know, because it depends on the level of dynamics of virus that's in the community, and that's really important because that gets back to something again that you said. If you see the level coming down really, really very low. I want it to keep going down to a baseline that's so low that there's virtually.
So it doesn't make a difference if the curve is down. They want you to wear masks into perpetuity. You're going to have to wear masks until to 2022. Now, how will it change then? How many times has it changed? How many times has it changed since we started this thing? It is control. It is control. It is sidestepping questions. Oh, well, yeah. The Biden administration is horrible about that. Here's this. This is Jen Psaki. You know her. She's like, I'll circle back around to that. Here she is on ABC yesterday, and they are asking her about President. I can't even say President Biden's endorsement of Cuomo, saying he's the gold standard for the coronavirus. He asked her point blank, does President Biden still stand behind got locked up.
Well, John, we work with Governor Cuomo just like we work with governors across the country. He's also chair of the NGA. So he plays an important role in ensuring that we're coordinating closely and getting assistance out to people of his state and to states across the country. And we'll continue to do that. And there, of course, will be a process. The investigations will leave that to others to determine, the appropriate law enforcement authorities to determine how that path is going to move as we look forward. But we are going to continue to work with a range of governors, including, of course, Governor Cuomo, because we think the people of New York, the people of states across the country need assistance, not just to get through the pandemic, but to get through this difficult economic time. And that's where our focus remains.
So she didn't answer the question. He'll ask it
My
again.
question was, does President Biden still believe that Andrew Cuomo is the gold standard, represents the gold standard on leadership during this pandemic? Just a yes or no. Does he
Well,
consider
John,
him
the president, well, it doesn't always have to be a yes or no answer, John. I think the president is focused on his goal, his objectives as president of the United States. He's going to continue to work with Governor Cuomo, just like he'll continue to work with governors across the country. And I'm not here to give new labels or names from the president. I'm here to communicate with you about what our focuses are and what his objectives are as president.
All right, White House Press
Wow.
Secretary Jen Psaki,
Wow.
thank you for joining.
Can you not answer a question? I've not heard her answer a question yet. I've not heard the Biden administration answer one daggone question. Yeah, they can't answer any questions. They can't. These people are the worst. These people are the worst. Look, Trump would have been blistered. The Trump administration would have been blistered had they done this stuff. These people get a pass. They get a pass. I don't get it. I mean, I do, but I just, wow. Okay, so last week we told you about the school board meeting in California. I think it was California. In Northern California, where they had a video on and they were bashing parents. They were swearing about the parents. They were calling them drug addicts and all kinds of things. And then they realized that it was a public meeting and that there were parents on the call. The entire school board resigned. The entire school board resigned. The president issued an announcement after her resignation. I'm raising a 10-year-old with special needs, and having him home during this pandemic while also holding down 2 jobs to support my family has been a huge stress, she said. I suffer with many of the same things that parents are going through, from mental health issues to regression. My remark was callous and uncalled for, and for that I'm truly sorry. Yeah. Glad you're gone. I'm telling you what, these people are the worst. They should have resigned. Yeah, no, they should have been forced but they resigned, so that's fine. They're gone. They're gone. And so they've got another school district kind of stepping in and kind of helping out at the time being. The Cartoon Network, what time we got? Cartoon Network released a new public service announcement for its young audience last week that preaches against colorblindness and encourages children to see color in order to become anti-racists. Here is that PSA, the public service announcement from Cartoon Network.
Colorblindness is our game because everyone's the same. Everybody join our circle. Doesn't matter if you're white or black or purple.
What the? Whoa. Hold up a minute here. Ugh, who wrote this? I think it kind of does matter that I'm purple. I mean, I'm purple because I'm literally an alien.
Well, I'm not an alien, but it definitely matters to me that I'm black. Yeah, it makes a difference that I'm white. I know the two of us get treated very differently.
I just think it's messed up to compare me being an alien to you two being different races. You're both human. You're totally biologically the same. Adding purple people into a lesson about human racism makes no sense.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. I think people like the black, white, or purple thing because adding a fantasy race in there helps distract from the actual racism black people have to deal with.
Oh, yeah. Fantasy
My
race
experience with
distracts.
anti-black racism is really specific. Other people of color experience other forms of racism too, but you won't see any of that if you don't see color.
Dude, so this entire public service announcement could be a ploy to avoid talking about racism altogether. Hey,
Sure.
Can we get a rewrite where we appreciate each other without erasing what makes each of us different?
Okay, but it's gonna add a couple hours to the shoot.
I can make it work. Open.
You were rolling just now, weren't you? Can't we just slap some
John.
graphics on this and call it a day?
Rennie. Yeah, see color, be anti-racist. Now you've got to see color. You weren't supposed to see color before. Now they want you to see color because when you see color now, you're anti-racist. Don't let your kids watch Cartoon Network. Don't let your grandkids watch it. There is more white racism than there is black racism today. What do you mean? Define that, Sharon. You mean racism against whites? Is that what you're meaning? I'm just trying to understand. Is that like Coke saying be less white? Yeah. Yeah. Stop whitey. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Yep. But we've always taught race doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. You judge a person on the content of their character. No. Not anymore. You've got to see now it is important that you judge the outside. I don't know, people. It went rogue years ago. Yep. I don't know. The world is a little wonky. Be in prayer. All right. We are out of here today on this Monday. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you share the video. And love having you on. We'll see you tomorrow for day 11 of quarantine. The pets are hiding from me. And the neighbors are nervous. God bless you. Thank you so much. Stay strong. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.